Right then, a very different style of video today. I thought, seeing as I've driven to exercise and I've come across this beautiful location, I thought we may as well hop in the Abarth and do a point of view drive video. So I've cleaned this up quite nice. I think it looks really sparkly today. I've cleaned up the exterior, but the interior is still quite mucky, as you can tell by the footprints down there. But as we hop into the car, the beautiful Abarth logo lights up there, and I thought, wow, we may as well go for a nice drive. So we'll start this thing up. Just put down that window. The car sounds awesome. So let's put it into first gear. We're not in sport mode or anything at the moment, so we'll start off quite leisurely, but you can hear that exhaust. Sounds incredible. So we're in this tight little country roads, and I thought we may as well go for a nice little drive. So a nice little sedate drive to start with. I'll put the window up a little bit. I don't know how this sort of noise will come across on the GoPro. I've never done any of these style of videos before. But hey, this is the thing with quarantine. There's so many people out walking. And now we've got stuck behind some kind of Nissan patrol car as well. So many people out walking and driving around now that the UK lockdown's starting to unlock. But seeing as I was doing my unlimited drive to exercise, I thought, wow, I actually have no idea where we are. We kind of are in the middle of nowhere. But I thought I may as well strap the GoPro to my head and have a little drive around. But I'm hoping that we don't come across many people because, wow, as I say, I do currently have a GoPro strapped to my head, so people probably won't understand what's going on. But I thought we may as well have a little drive around and sort of show you what it's like to drive this car, because I know a lot of people have been asking what it is really like. So as you can hear at these sort of low speeds, the exhaust sounds incredible, and these sort of 20 to 30 mile an hour sort of speeds are my favourite speeds to drive at, because it is quiet enough that you can hear the exhaust and it's not drowned out by the road noise, whereas if you put your foot down a bit more. So now heading up to the 50 mile an hour speed limit, we are starting to get more droned out by the road noise, so you can't hear the exhaust as well. But I don't know how well this will be coming across on camera, as I might put the window up a bit more. It is hot in here. As you can see on the dash there on the nice digital display, it is 18 degrees. So it is quite hot in the UK for the lockdown, which is persuading more people to go outside and go on some nice walks. But these sort of roads are my favourite roads to drive on, because nice single track lanes, you don't have to worry as much about your speed, because you're less likely to get up to the speed limit, so you can focus more on driving and enjoying the road. Crack the window down again. We'll drop a gear and see if you can listen to the sound of the exhaust in this thing. So there we go, you see, literally going up to 28 miles an hour, and it sounds awesome. And one thing to note about this exhaust is even when you are driving at 70 miles an hour or 60 mile an hour national speed limits on these sort of roads, the exhaust isn't drony. It doesn't impact on any sort of road noise. As I say, it gets drowned out by the road noise for the most part, because this car is fairly thin. The sides of the doors are not thick, they're not padded like as you would get in, you know, an executive sort of car. I actually have no idea where we are in the world right now, but assumingly we're going left. But yeah, as I said, you're not getting drowned out. You're more getting drowned out by the road noise, so you don't have to worry about the exhaust being drony or overpoweringly loud. Whereas this is the stock exhaust, this isn't the record Monza exhaust on this car. So just a heads up on that, so it's not as loud as some Abarths are. Let's drop down another gear as we go across this really tight little bridge. Got a cyclist coming the other way. Thank you very much, mate. So we are, of course, as I said, in normal mode as well. If I put it in sport mode, the car does seem to get a little bit louder. Put the window up and we'll have a little put your foot down moment here as you go up to the national speed limit. So bearing in mind, we're not in sport mode. We are just in the standard sort of speeds, but the car is still very quick. But one thing I have noticed is if we go into sport mode, I feel like I don't have as much grip. The steering sharpens up, it feels a lot heavier. It seems to let go of some of that power steering, and yeah, I'm not as much of a fan of how it drives, so I do tend to stick in this normal mode, which suits me. But as you notice here, going down a gear, sorry, I don't know how that comes across in terms of the noise of the exhaust. Of course we do have the windows up, but it's not excessively overpoweringly loud. But I love these country roads, just taking a nice easy drive. Oh, hello. I don't really think you were looking, but there we go. But you don't need to be going fast at all to hear how good the exhaust sounds in this car. It is really nice to drive, as you can see on the digital display as well. We're not going that quick at all, but if you drop a gear you can hear that it sounds awesome, and I absolutely love this digital display. As I mentioned in a previous video, I wasn't expecting to get into this newer model of Abarth. I was expecting to get into the Series 3, whereas this is the Series 4, so the Series 3s for the most part have an analog display as compared to this digital one. So, you know, I'm still in awe of this car, even after owning it for a good few months. I still think it's absolutely awesome. And the display looks amazing, a little Abarth in the middle. I do wish you could customise this though. To my model of Abarth, it would be quite nice. But yeah, it does look awesome. But that's another thing, you don't really have to worry as much about other cars on the road, on those tight sort of roads, because this car is very small, so you can get out the way of most road users. And especially if you've noticed during lockdown, the number of cyclists, it is crazy. There's so many cyclists on the road. If we drop down another gear here and hope that we can pass him on the next sort of turn. Let's have a look, see. Yep, we're right. Wow, what is going on here? It's Tour de France. There's people everywhere on the wrong side of the road as well. Wow, that is the problem. Of course, people are doing a lot of exercise. The weather's beautiful, but you've always got to look out for cars on the road. You are, at the end of the day, driving a weapon, a missile, so you do have to be very careful. As I have absolutely no idea where we are again. I think we'll go up that little road up there. It looks quite nice. If we can pull out here, all right. We'll actually put the window down so you can hear what it's like to pull off. Does sound very good, but I think now is the time that we should probably engage sport mode. So you can see here, you get the angry dash comes on. Everything goes red, and then it stops telling you about how good your fuel economy is and that sort of stuff. And we enter the mode that I don't like as much, but it really does release the full potential of the car. As you can see, sport mode up here on the boost gauge as we wait for this bird to fly out the road. And wow, we'll wait until an opening actually, and then we'll put our foot down. But it does make the throttle more responsive, and I've noticed in this car, although Abarth don't state that it does, I've noticed that the car sounds louder. I don't know if it's because you are on it more, but I have noticed that personally, and I've had passengers tell me that the car does sound louder when it is in sport mode. So here we go again, a little bit more of the Tour de France going on. See if we can squeeze past them at some point. I would hate to be going up this hill because it doesn't look particularly fun. Let's drop it down to first. I don't want to cause them any sort of inconvenience here. Oh, they let me past. So yeah, this thing I can notice is significantly louder when we go into sport mode. Oh, here we go. We've got encountered a car. But this is the benefit of driving an Abarth. It is tiny, so you really don't have to worry. As we watch out for that woman and make sure that we don't end up breaking the speed limit. That is, of course, another problem with sport mode. This car releases its full potential, 143 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds. It is quick, and sport mode encourages you to go fast. That, along with the seating position, I don't know if you've noticed throughout this video, we are sat quite high, so I do feel that it insinuates going fast. So that is one thing to be cautious of. Let's knock it out of sport mode for the minute, as we have a horse. We're seeing everything in this video. I bet you weren't expecting to see a horse, and as well some planes. So yeah, this video has it all today. Not what I was expecting, but I'm hoping that we can sneak just behind this horse, hoping it doesn't go left. Oh, are you hoping that I'll go past you, are you? Maybe. Thank you very much. Now, this is another problem with an Abarth, it's a very loud car. So I'll try not to scare the horse as we pull away here, because presumably they didn't design it with horses in mind. You can't quieten the exhaust, there's no active exhaust or anything, and that's one thing that I find very strange. When you put it into sport mode, it does sound louder despite it not having a Valvetronic system. There is no way to open or close valves, and from what I understand, the stock exhaust doesn't have valves that open or close. I believe the Monza exhaust does, so you can do things such as wild the exhaust permanently open so that it always sounds at its full potential, but I don't believe the stock exhaust has that. I've done some investigation into these stock exhausts to sort of understand how and why it sounds so loud, but from diagrams I've seen of it, there doesn't seem to be any valves. I could be wrong in that, but from what I understand, there isn't. But now getting up to 40-50 mile an hour speeds. Let's duck down here actually. I like these sort of off the beaten track roads. Yeah, these sort of roads are awesome. These single track roads where, as I mentioned before, you don't have that much worry about breaking the speed limit because you are constantly on the brakes and being aware of people all around you. You can't get up to that higher speeds. Yet they're fun, and I mean, you get these tree canopies, they're awesome. Awesome little roads. I love these sort of things. But yeah, as I said, at these sort of speeds, you don't notice any drone from the exhaust. It's not particularly loud. You do, of course, notice the road noise because it's thin, but it's nothing too dissimilar of any other car. And yeah, these things are very easy to drive. I haven't really had any problems. Getting used to the car was a little bit difficult. I went from an older car to this newer car, and this has a soft, springy clutch, which I wasn't used to before. And also, if you take it off the clutch, it will sit at 5 miles an hour in first gear. One thing I hadn't seen before, so the car doesn't stall out, which then is a little bit strange in traffic. Now this is a very strange road, but this is awesome. I don't know how you're fitting 2 normal sized cars down this road. I mean, my car, yes, but any other car, no, not really. Which way do I want to go? Let's go left. As I say, I am still very lost, but yeah, these roads are fun. So I've also been asked a few questions about this car whilst putting out a few videos. Thank you very much for getting involved in the comments of the last video. I do appreciate everyone getting involved because it's been a while since I've uploaded or been able to upload. Oh, we see we've got a biker coming up behind us. See if we can let him pass in a bit. Oh no, he's dropped off now. But thank you for everyone getting involved. I did get a few comments in that video, people asking about, is this car reliable? And I have had absolutely no problems so far with this car, touch wood. It has been brilliant, it's been fantastic, it's been what I've hoped it would be. Of course, being a modern car, I was hoping that it wouldn't break down or anything, and it has not done so as of yet. Despite, well, I mean, I don't really beat on this car much, I just drive it occasionally fast. But I've driven it motorway miles, it's gone to London now several times. Prior to the lockdown, it would have a lot more miles on it. I've only done about 4,500 since ownership. It would have done a lot more had there not been a lockdown. I've been stuck inside for the past few months, and with studies as well, with it entering the final part of my university degree, I've been stuck inside. So I haven't done as many miles as I was hoping, but it's been brilliant so far. Let's flash him out and let's slow down a little bit. Let him come out as we drop down into this 30 mile an hour zone. So I also got asked if I'd recommend this car, and yes, definitely. Of course, it depends what your purpose is for ownership. It's not practical, particularly family car, but it's fun, and you can't fault it on the fact that it's fun. It's the sort of car that I would definitely recommend owning during lockdown, because, well, seeing as we're stuck inside for most of these times, it is nice to get out and have an enjoyable car and to be able to listen to that exhaust. Let's put the window down again. I really haven't put the window down much because of the road noise. I have never filmed on the GoPro like this before, so I don't know what it's like. So I'm hoping that you can hear that exhaust and me, but without loads and loads of road noise or wind. Whoa, let's sneak through here. Whoa, hello. Oh, she knows those people. Thought she was complaining at me. Right, we do have to be very cautious past this horse with the loud exhaust. A lot of horses out. We must be near a horse sanctuary or a horse riding place. Let's flash you just to warn you. But anyway, I think we've pretty much done it all. There's no real point of me going on a motorway or anything because we are meant to stay local to drive to exercise. So if you want to see any further drives, I was hoping to go to some amazing driving roads in places like the Lake District this year, but that seems that it won't be the case. But I could film some more of these videos just chatting a load of rubbish. Maybe if we get a Q&A going or something in the future, that might be quite cool. But anyway, I hope that you have gone on to enjoy today's video. It's probably been quite nice not having to see my face, not seeing me chat a load of rubbish, whereas just seeing the road and the nice environment and listening to the exhaust. So if you have enjoyed the video, please make sure that you do, of course, smash it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.